you already here. And good evening to you, Sir Lunch. Nice to have you here as well. And yeah, exciting times. Bit nervous myself with you. It makes me back. So you've got a general idea about the structure of this show. Normally, I would start this show with a kind of almost like a news roundup of what you guys need to hear and what you guys need to know, what I think might be useful for you about anything that's happening in the Whaleshares community. But this week's going to be a bit different because this is the first show. So I'm going to just give you a bit of an introduction to the show. Now, this show, the idea is to obviously be a lot more than about curation, and we wanted a show that had a number of different segments that relate to the various areas of the Whaleshares community, which isn't just about curation, of course. So I'm hoping I've managed to come up with a structure that does have broad appeal, because that was my key aim. But of course, keeping it in that Whaleshares context, which is very important. So I'm hoping this show will do the job. But there's a number of elements to it, and I'm hoping you're going to be liking what's going on. And just to say, this actually coincides with, I think it's almost now one year since Whaleshares was launched. I was speaking to Walrus earlier, and it is Whaleshares' first birthday, so it's quite nice to launch a new show as we hit 1 year. And my word, it's been one hell of a year for Whaleshares and Steemit, and you know, I can't imagine you know, this time last year what I'd be involved in now. So I'm hoping you guys have also seen great benefits from being a member of this amazing community, and it really is an extraordinary community, and it's only going to get better. It is only going to get better, and that's what this show is hoping to do, because as we approach the launch of the new chain, this show will be hopefully a vehicle to get as many people onboarded onto the new platform, but also to empower people with knowledge and information and connections that they might need, and help them with their Whaleshares journey. So that's what this show is also looking to do. Almost like an interface, really, between Whaleshares new chain and the wider community. So hopefully it will serve a number of functions, this show. But as I say, it's going to be varied. There's going to be a number of things going on, and I would normally start the show with a news roundup, a weekly Whaleshares information update, if you like. But this week, a bit different, because, as I say, this is the first ever show. So I'm just giving you some guys information about what this show hopes to achieve, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So yes, here we are, 1 year on from when Whaleshares launched, and wow, it's been an amazing journey. Right. I think that wraps it. It's as I say, great to see you guys here. It's fantastic. Lots of people here, which is amazing. And I think on that note, yeah, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what's happening later. Later on, hopefully we're going to hear from Chief Mapster. He's a real crypto enthusiast, expert maybe, it might be the better word. So we're hopefully going to hear from him later on. He's going to be giving us his coffee and crypto lowdown. It's a great series that he does on his blogs, and I'm delighted that he's agreed to bring it into this show. He's a man who knows his stuff, and I think he can help a lot of us. He certainly opened my eyes to a lot of stuff happening in the crypto sphere. So hopefully Chief Mapster will be coming on later. He's not here at the moment, but I'm hoping he'll show up. And of course, we're going to be hearing from Savo. Savo's got a new segment. Savo is the music man of the Steemit community. He's not the only one, of course, but he's set up an amazing community, as many of you will know, the SMA community. And he does some great stuff helping emerging artists find their way, and I can't wait for that section. He's also going to be giving us a nice musical interlude, because I do like my musical interludes. So we're going to hear some great tunes or tune from him later on in the show, and he will be introducing Darren Claxton, who's also going to be giving us a bit of an insight what it was like working for one of the record labels. So I'm looking forward to that later on, and of course the guest stars of the show. Tonight, which they will be changing each week, but tonight I'm delighted that Fuzzy and Walrus have joined us for the first ever Whaleshares Blue Report show. It's almost an exclusive, really, to get them both together in the same setting. I'm really looking forward to what they're talking about. So that's going to be amazing. And then lastly, I'm going to end with some community curation. I'm not going to say too much about that at the moment. I'll come to that later on. That's going to be a bit of fun, I hope. It might even cause a few arguments, but hey, it's all going to be in good taste. But that really does, I think, round out what we're going to be doing here. And don't forget, for all of you that come tonight, there'll be Beyond Bits given out, 3 Beyond Bits for everybody. So I will ask for your Bitshares usernames later on in the show, so please don't hit me with them now. So that said, I think that explains, I hope it does anyway, a bit about what this show is going to hopefully achieve. And I think I will now hand over to Walrus and Fuzzy if they are ready. Let me just check. Walrus, Fuzzy, are you guys there?
Hello.
I'm good.
Hey.
Hello, I hear Walrus. Do you hear me, Walrus?
Oh, I hear you, Fuzzy, and you're coming through loud and clear. So with that, I'm going to hand over to you guys. How are you doing?
Good. Do you guys hear Walrus okay?
Yes. Did you hear Walrus?
Just making sure.
Yeah, he was a little bit quiet, I must say. A little bit down on volume.
Okay, yeah, let's... Yeah, for me too, a little bit. And thank you for having us. Thank you for running these, and everybody who's participating in these every week. You guys don't see me all the time, but it's largely because we're trying to build something bigger for everybody to be able to use and get a chance on. And you guys kind of maybe at times unknowingly make a lot of this possible by being an active community that's talking about Whaleshares, participating in the various things that are going on, and bringing actual organic value to the network. So I want to make it real clear that you guys very much make this happen and make this possible and empower us to be able to do things to help you guys. So thank you, everybody, for participating in all these things. And thank you always to you, Freedom, because you've done a lot of this stuff for, and to being underpaid, and I won't lie, for what you do for quite some time. And there are a lot of people who I feel like in the community have kind of been that way at times, and you guys have been kind of an amazing community. So we're trying to offer we're leveraging a lot of the Beyond Bits and stuff that I have to build Whaleshares and to make it so it's possible for people like Walrus and people who have a similar vision to participate and help with this, right? The people who are here trying to build these tools for you. So we've kind of been able to be in a great position to do that because of you guys appreciating what we do. And with that said, Walrus, do you have your mic set up now?
Do I sound better now?
A lot better. Same for you guys?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cool. Yeah, well, my name obviously is Fuzzy. I'm one of the founders of this. I won't go too deep into it, but other than to say that from the very early days of, we launched Steam and a Beyond Bitcoin Hangout, and Beyond Bitcoin as a network seems to have kind of grown into Whaleshares and EOSTalks and BitsharesTalks and all these different curation shows and all the stuff that comes out of the Steam net, but they're based on mutual aid societies. This is what Steam was based on. So our ability for have whale token freedom exists. We'll have his own whale token on the Whaleshares network, but to leverage those things for you guys to be able to build your own net and kind of really start rewarding each other for the efforts that you're putting forward, right? But with that said, Walrus, feel free to go ahead and give your input and give a little bit of an update on everything on yours.
Now you put me on the spot.
Oh, well, I'll start you out. It was not always easy in Whaleshares. You had to leave for a while. We don't need to get too deep into it, but can you kind of inform everybody you weren't just kind of go into that a little. Don't have to touch on the quote unquote dark side of it too much, but you know, just kind of give the rundown for people.
Yeah, I'll just without getting into dirty details of it, basically we got attacked on Steam for I don't know what, but that's what. So we started building, like, so me and Patalincho had to go underground for a little bit, just behind the scenes. That's when we started working on the Whaleshares chain and everything, and that's why we're gonna have our own platform here coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so when you think about what happens with this, like we have, like I said a little bit I spoke a little bit to this already, which is that we have a community that's done a lot. And I know that you guys are all active. You guys are all actively doing things, writing articles about things that matter to you, and to matter enough to you to join events, to talk about them. You're all experts in your own places, right? And we've had these tokens for quite some time, right? For well, over a year, really, if you think about it. The community itself might not have been, you know, quite ready yet at this point. It was just getting started, but the service itself was something that Walrus and I were talking about in the earliest days, like probably 6 months before anything was ever launched. So we had these tokens that we believed if we could leverage them and to leverage the steam power in the network, the power that you get for holding and locking away your tokens for a long-term period of time, and taking on that risk to do so, those tokens, if you can leverage that power that you lock into the network and the appreciation of value that comes from that, you can leverage the creation of new tokens that are kind of a medium for that value, right? That can be liquid and fungible and tradable and something that you can hold on to, and it's valuable all the time. And if you are smart about it, can be extra valuable compared to when you first got it, right? These kinds of tools are just the beginnings, because we have people like you guys who are experts in your own fields. So now imagine what you can do with a token of your own, right? And that's really where we wanted to go with this. We wanted to make it so anybody can have a little bit more of a stake in the network, right? So people will be able to join up and participate and have the opportunity to earn some Whaleshares tokens early on, or if they're holding BTS or they're buying Whaleshares off of somebody that earned them, they can get share dropped on, and they can get tokens and create a network that, even though they might not be a mega whale, they could be a big enough whale that they can build a community around what they're passionate about, and they can leverage a coin similar to Beyond Bits. And that's kind of why we started all this and why we were going that direction. And what we were going to do is we were going to do all the things that we're doing with Whaleshares. We were going to do it for Steam. Because of how everything worked out, it was better for us to leverage it and help our community at large, the people who've gone through the hard times together with us. So you guys are in a great position right now, and I don't want to go too deep into it other than to say that people like Patty and Walrus, when they were stepping away, they were doing things that would work on a grander picture. And we're getting to the point where that grander picture is here. And because you guys have stuck around and been active, despite the fact that it seemed like we were kind of not, even around really, there's a lot of things that are going to be made available to the community now. And we're really pumped up about what that's going to be. And I will also say that it's going to require all of you guys giving your input on how to make it better. But I also want to step away with this and say, this is not Steam. It's a lot better than Steam in terms of distribution, but that's the only place where I will even compare it, because the service itself is going to be a lot different. It's going to leverage the power that you get from locking away tokens. It's going to leverage the ability to pass out tokens that are backed by those, called whale tokens, which any of you could potentially have if you get enough Whaleshares tokens early on. And quite literally, you can work towards helping us get share drops of new chains onto your coin, onto Whaleshares in general, maybe on the Bitshares or any other coins that you think are partners with us. We want to make this something where you guys grow an organic network and utilize your tokens, and we all collectively utilize our tokens to kind of invest or seed fund different projects that we think are valuable. So with that said, does anybody have any questions or comments that they'd like to bring up to Walrus or I? Or Walrus, do you have anything that you'd like to say? I mean, I'll talk all night about it. So if you guys want me to just do that, I'll do that too.
I was going to say that, because you had said anybody could have a whale token if they get enough Whaleshares in the beginning, but that's not, like, with a better distribution, it should be more than reasonable for somebody to like work hard and build a following and become a whale on there just through their own efforts, which is just
a good point.
That's not possible on Steam. But I don't want to compare it to Steam too much
because we run into this danger. A lot of people, and this is a great point, and I'm glad you bring it up. A lot of people, they keep saying, this started on Steam, so this is obviously competing with Steam. And they look at the history, and, obviously you guys don't get along with some of the people on Steam who are in control. And you disagree with the fact that it's, over 51% of the stake is in the hands of a very small group of people. Those things would be correct. Though some people might say, oh, that's negative. That's correct. We don't necessarily believe in that. But we still believe that there are things that can be learned from Steam. I still hold tokens there. I still leverage Steam to build the things that we're building. And when we have Whaleshares, it's going to be something that's different. It's going to take into account the things that we learned on Steam. So I see value in continuing to work how we're working and working with Steam, and Steam remaining valuable. But what I will say is we build something that's different from Steam, that lets you reward people and show transparently what you're rewarding based on the amount of stake you have in the network. And I think it's very important that we leverage that to be able to do pretty much whatever you want, as long as it's not illegal, or in your jurisdiction or something that's against the Constitution that the community brings up. But I will also say it's a friends rewarding network more than a blogging platform. Think of it like Facebook. When you look at Facebook, yes, people blog there, but people also post that they went and got a sandwich at, Bob's sandwich shop, and it had amazing pickles. And they post that, and they don't get downvoted for it because it's because their friends hated it. They have people who say, oh, I like that you had Bob's sandwiches. I love Bob's sandwiches. Yeah, I love that too. Thanks. And we'll be able to reward people for sharing what they talk about and the things that they do, or just reward them for something that we don't think is necessarily the biggest, most important thing, but it's our funding to do what we wish with, right? So we're aiming to make a different experience. It's going to be based on how Steam works, because that's how mutual aid societies work. But we are going into that direction where you're going to be able to have a friends network where you're sharing with people, and that's the means of rewarding each other, right? And you get rewarded for sharing. It's kind of one of the reasons why you see the whales in the yin and yang, right? Whitney says, I think the whole point is that we have all spotted the broken elements of Steam and do not want another Steam. We want something far more inclusive for the everyman. Ideally, we also want something that gives us a chance to really work, really network and build proper relationships. Yeah, I think one of the things that the biggest problem that a lot of people don't realize is that any chain that has over 51% control into the hands of a small group of people is going to not be very inclusive, because it's just hard for that to happen unless there are separations of power in there. But you don't really have that a whole lot. So what you end up having here is, will we have another Steam? It depends. Are you trying to gauge it against what Steam is? Because when you look at the roots of mutual aid societies, Steam actually came from the idea of mutual aid societies. And what Dan did was he essentially created mutual aid societies on Bitshares, but then he kind of retooled it with some lessons that he learned, most of which being when somebody locks away their tokens and risks that price swinging down and up and not being able to move their tokens, they are a long-term holder. They're somebody who's willing to take that risk because they believe in the platform. So what do? You let them lock up their tokens and get something in return for it. Now, what is the ledger for? The ledger is traditionally for being able to pass out tokens to people. In proof of stake currencies, whenever you mint, you stake your tokens, your ownership in the network. You have, you earn these tokens as they're minted into your wallet, and you get to do as you wish with them. But there's no way of showing people what you do with them. There's nothing really to it. There's no human interaction. There's no oil between the gears, so to speak, to keep that going. And one of the things that has been underappreciated about the ledger is that we do have the ability to show people and have a network of friends and say, hey, I own this amount of stake. I'm staking my tokens, but I have to give those tokens in a transparent way to an account somewhere on the blockchain. When you look at it more like that, as opposed to a blog chain, because this is not going to be a blog chain, you actually reward people for being able to share their content with, or what they're doing, or their picture of a sandwich, or, pretty much anything, maybe a comment that you just think is absolutely amazing, right? You can share that with your friends, and the people who are friending you, like aka followers, are essentially receiving that message and can share it with their followers too, organically, right? And we'll take away reputation. We won't need that then, because now your organic group of people who listen to what you do and pay attention to what you're doing and what you're rewarding and getting rewarded for rewarding in return. Now we've created an ecosystem where you are rewarded for rewarding one another. And we will have the ability to, as a community, to have arbitrators who can then join up and say, okay, if you flag people, which at first what we're planning on is it's going to cost 2x as much to downvote people, aka flag them. But what you're essentially doing is, eventually what we want to do is we want to have it where arbitrators are essentially hired by the chain. And those arbitrators are able to negate rewards if they believe something is against the Constitution that the community has set up, which of course that will be something that we should do when it's live too. Maybe like Steam cleaners, I don't know if it's necessarily Steam cleaners so much as there's a constitution. We have to have a constitution, like what the community agrees on. So what I would say is I would urge people to consider what that constitution may look like, but also keep in mind, anybody who says we don't want this to be another Steam, remember that you want people to invest in the platform. you don't want this to be about just content. Steam actually has a lot of issues because it focused on content quality and that kind of thing more than, and promoting that more than the value of the actual ledger, right? Right now, we can't forget, most people, if they want to send value to one another, it takes them minutes and sometimes hours or days. We have something that is a network that you can share value basically instantaneously, right? So it's something that we should definitely consider leveraging that part of the ledger, as opposed to the mutual aid society concept, and allow people to build their communities off of that. And we want people to be able to make money off of their investment in this community. But we also want to have things like Whale Tank that will enable them and give them the motivation to join up, offer their tokens, their own whale tokens, go out and find people who are going to sit there and offer to give tokens to Whaleshares holders in return for support from the whales and their whale tokens on the Whale Council. The people who are on the Whale Council, they're going to have their own website, their own pages essentially on the Whale Book, and it'll say the different things that they're credited with getting share dropped on our chain. We're going to have these other things that are going to reward you, and it might not reward you considerably in terms of monetarily all the time or directly rewarding you monetarily, but it might. But what it will do is it'll show everybody your history, what you've done, what you've actually accomplished, and links to it, which I hope that you guys will realize that as you move forward, what you've done and what you continually do over time does matter. And that is, I think, one of the things that we definitely need to capture in this Friends Network, as opposed to your reputation and the value of what you post is directly represented by, let's say, how many rings you kiss, right? Now, with that said, is it always going to be fair? Nope. But the community, you guys are going to have a heck of a lot more pull, and you guys have a heck of a lot more opportunity to have a big enough stake in the Whaleshares chain where you can make a difference in these things, and you can support the initiatives that we're doing and kind of show people. Yeah, you're rewarded for rewarding each other. That's exactly it, Whitney. And that's what it should be, right? And here's the thing. If you look at Bob and you see the only things he upvotes are posts by himself, well, what's the reason for you to follow him, right? All he's going to do is litter your feed with stuff, like of him upvoting that crap, aka sharing it, right? So what you do is you make it so it's reflected. And if people feel like that's dirtying up their feeds, then what we essentially need to do is we just say, okay, I'm not going to follow this person. I'm not going to be friends with this person because all they do is, and I might even flag this person. And then the arbitrators come and say, okay, well, looks like this person's flagged for doing X, Y, and Z. Let's go look and see if they did X, Y, and Z. I rule X, Y, and Z is cool or not cool. From there. Well, you guys will have to, that's how it has to work. We can't promise anything, right? Like, if I were going to be Ned and Walrus was going to be Ned, we could start a chain with like 80% of the stake and we all hold it and we tell you guys what it's going to be. But that's not what we're doing, right? So it makes it a lot harder. And everybody kind of says, oh, X, Y, and Z isn't decentralized enough, but they don't realize it. You can't, you're giving away a lot of power by doing that. So that's why we tell people, and I can't tell you guys to buy tokens, Whaleshares tokens, but what I can tell you is that I would probably be buying them if I thought I could do it and not get in trouble for insider trading of some sort. I'm an American, so I try to be very careful and just give it away, right? Not earn a whole lot of money off of it. But basically, these are given away. They are vote tokens that you guys get for earning them or buying them off of somebody who earned them, right? I don't really, I very rarely, if ever, sell Whaleshare tokens. And you guys are in an opportunity to be able to potentially get a hold of tokens, get a share drop, 8.4 WLS tokens per Whaleshare. And Whaleshares chain will start out with 21 million as opposed to Steam's 260 million or Bitshares 2.6 or 3. I think 3 billion, somewhere around there right now. So you're going to start out with a lot larger percentage of the chain from holding Whaleshares tokens. And I would urge you guys all, if you have already used Bitshares to leverage the Whaleshare service, we're going to have the open sourcing of the Whaleshares service too. So it's going to be something that you guys will be able to participate in, maybe even have your own Whaleshares based services, or at the very least have your own coins that leverage that. And yeah, we're gonna build this in a way where you guys can have your own coins, kind of like what we do, and we'll all be able to run around with bags full of each other's tokens. And we'll be able to use them to strategically share with each other's organic networks and pay one another in the process. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped, but we need you guys. We definitely freaking need you guys.
Nico had a question about bots on Whaleshares.
What the hell are you talking about?
And Homer right on time.
That's what I was thinking. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. But the bot subject is something we've discussed a whole lot among the devs. And I don't know if we've actually come to a solid conclusion on it. Like, we know you want some bots because some bots can be really helpful. But on the other hand, you want to limit the amount of bots, not just have it completely open too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we have some ideas on the bots front. But one of the biggest things I think that I've learned is that you can't do everything algorithmically. You can't automate everything. You can't always technologically accomplish things. So one of the things that we can do, and this is one of the things we are planning on doing, is we can have it where there are arbitrators that can counter people who are directly 100% frigging abusing the platform. You know what I mean? Like, in no way, shape, or form is this person adding value. They're doing things that are absolutely terrible for the platform. And I'm not talking about posting something blank and rewarding themselves transparently to their own account, showing that they always reward themselves. I'm talking about, like, the people who are going out and posting stuff they should, like, snuff films and things like that, and saying, come to X, Y, and Z location to be part of this snuff film, things like that, like live, you know, the stuff that we talk about, like, world's full of crazy stuff. But we want the community to be able to define those things democratically, give it the opportunity to be done in a way that is not controlled by a small group of people, right? And give the Whaleshares community a solid opportunity to be part of that. And then we want to create the incentives for people to come and ask us for our whale tokens, right? And if I believe that those of you guys who have enough Whaleshares to create whale tokens, if you start giving those tokens out and you attend the Whale Tank Hangout, or even have your own Whale Tank Hangout as a whale, and you give to people in return for getting share drops on our community, you basically start up a network of people who are searching for share drops for us and giving their tokens out so they can to people who can share the news about their projects. And we essentially do the exact opposite of what Steem has done, which is kind of cut off all these other chains and say, no, you have to build it on our chain or we'll cut you off, right? And we'll even cut off a lot of things that are on our chain, but aren't really helping us at all directly, right? There are things like that that do happen. And I think that the whole, going back to that, you know, we just don't want another Steem. I think it's one of those things that we create the incentives for people to do things that give them more in return than what cheating the network would, right? And then for those cases when it's just so blatant, you have a governance structure, you have a constitution, keep it as limited as possible, because the chain should, all the governance should be there for is to, you know, for direct abuse of the platform. And you leverage the carrot and the stick, right? To make it so you find that sweet spot, and you let the community choose what that sweet spot is, and you let the community choose to fork if it ever comes to the point where that is necessary. And if that ever is necessary, it's at least it's forked by people who have decided to do everything they could democratically first and chose to have to go forward another way, right? And either way, you know, that's fine, but we offer a lot by doing this. And I think that we can leverage those incentives coupled with all this to kind of make it so bots are not nearly as profitable or helpful, you know, like, and if they are helpful, they're rewarded and supported too, right? And let the community decide that, since we're not going to have dictatorship powers over it.
So Fuzzy, going to put you on the spot a bit. How soon are we to launch?
We are making a headway on various things that have to do with the chain. We have the chain itself. We have a new interface that we've been working on. We had Condenser we were going to do it on, but we've since then changed the route that we're going to go with it. I'm still personally keeping to the 6 to 8 week tentative, and I must say tentative schedule. But I will also say that people will know, guaranteed, even, you know, if it's a month away, and we believe it's a month away, we're ready and we can launch it, and we'll set a date specifically and let everybody know about 4 weeks in advance. We settled on that to make sure, and the reason is simply we want to do it quickly. We want to do it, though, in a way that makes sense and where we're comfortable with launching, right? So I want to make it very clear on that front. Like, we know that a lot of people are pumped up. A lot of people have joined the test net. A lot of people haven't gotten on the test net, and they think that, you know, they're missing out on a bunch of tokens. All that is right now is it's just showing what you could be earning, you know, on the network based on the code that we're running. And whenever that test net is reset, all of the earnings are reset, so you guys don't have to be worrying about missing out on anything. But we are glad for the people who have been participating, who want to participate, because we're really just using you guys to help us debug things, get us, you know, make sure that that Maz Dax is working, so people can cross post to both chains at the same time if they want. We're working on a lot of things together, and we want them to kind of all come together at the same time. So I know that's a long answer to your, what did you say it was? Kind of sneaky question. I don't remember how to describe it.
Sorry, I was putting you on the spot a bit there, but I had to ask it.
No, everybody, trust me, I understand. You kind of have to, you have to bring those things up, right? Because those are some of the things that you probably hear the most. When is this going to happen? But I can assure you it's going to happen. We've had some struggles as a community recently. You know, there's a lot of just like changes in a community, guys. It's ups and downs, right? But we're getting there, and we're moving forward, and we are moving forward, and we're partnering up with other chains too. And we're going to be able to have whale tokens that are going to be on a chain that's going to be appreciated, right? I'm really, really pumped up about where everything's going with this. So I would prefer to make sure that I'm pumped up about it and it lives up to my being pumped up about it, as opposed to, and being a little bit late, as opposed to dropping it when I'm not ready for it. And I don't think it's ready yet. And we don't think that it's ready yet. And have it so it's not where we want it to be. So
no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll definitely keep you guys up to date on it too.
Yeah, sure. No, that makes total sense. I just want to return briefly to something you said earlier, and it's really important actually, because a lot of people I bump into, they say, "Oh, so you're making this new chain because you want to destroy Steam it," and it's like, no, it's not like that. And you know, it's far better. And I think you said this yourself, Fuzzy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said it yourself. You know, it's far better that we have, you know, to live in a world where there are more platforms like Steemit and Whaleshares than less. And for me, that put things in context. You know, there's no reason why Whaleshares and Steemit can't sort of coexist, is there?
The way I look at it is, if Bob goes out and posts to Maz Dax and he posts to multiple different chains, one community has a Bernie Sanders who is like, "You, every time you step foot onto this battleground, I will saw off your toes," right? And they're just like, well, you know, I probably would stop posting this stuff altogether, but I'm going to continue posting there from Maz Dax because why not? It's just a checkbox. But I am posting to Whaleshares and maybe, you know, Smoke Network. And I'm posting to both of them because it's smoke related. Maybe I'm Anxious Stoner. This is a good example for Anxious Stoner because Bernie Sanders didn't like him. But let's say he's posting and he cross posts to all three of them. Now he's getting rewarded by all three of them. And the network where he feels that he most belongs and gets connected with most people, he's most likely going to start taking some of those funds and going into that network, right? And trying to build his friendships and support his friendships there, right? And if that's the case, and that becomes effective, then you're going to see, I think, people who filter into different communities that they feel are more aligned with them. And you're going to see everybody start working in areas where there's less friction, because they're working with people who generally they're not going to have a lot of friction with because they agree on many things. And you're going to see them start focusing on something more important, which is solving problems. And one of the great things is they're going to be able to do it in a way that's open source. So even if another community that doesn't philosophically align with that community, like let's say an example of, you know, Steam and Golos, right? There's a Russian community. Does it mean that they can't grab code that Steam has used, or that Steam can't grab code that that Golos has used, right? They can, and Whaleshares could do the same thing. Steam could do the same with Whaleshares, right? And you basically have it now where no one's a king, or at the very least, you have many different fiefdoms, and they're all competing. The peasants, because the peasants can be all of the fief, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, if you can have different kingdoms that you're a part of, whether you can conquer them or not, well, that's up to you. That's your own individual journey. But having the options, having the opportunities, being involved in different kingdoms is the key.
Or maybe you're the wise wanderer whose message is carried to all of the chains and echoed in all those other chains. And you become basically famous because of that, because what you carry carries across all the chains. You know, these are things that are possible. And do we know? I mean, we can see that there are people who have lots of followings in different social networks that exist today. But we can't see them getting paid a whole lot. And we can't see them getting paid in a way that, you know, their followers can easily do it, other than maybe Patreon. But even then, you know, it's a centralized service, and they shut down people because they're not quote unquote towing the line, right? So we have a lot of issues with those things, and the blockchain allows us to do a lot think about this just from an activism perspective. Like what happens in Whaleshares if we start, leveraging our tokens to be activists toward to solve problems that we think are very important. Like those are the types of things that we can do, and we can create our own movement, our own inertia, so to speak, and leverage those communities to build things that matter. And that's what the mutual aid society concept is about. That's what Whaleshares is about. But then we add tokens into it that have been talked about existing for quite some time, but we have them, right? So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a bit crackly, dude, just to say. I don't know if you can sort that crackle. It's not a major issue. But just to round up then, Fuzzy, if you don't mind, because a lot of people still aren't too familiar with Maz Dax, that platform. I wonder if someone could just put a link up to that Papix. Is that fully open now for registrations? And, could you just tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, Maz Dax is available for anybody to use. Can you hear me okay?
That's better. That's great.
Okay, Maz Dax is available for anybody to use. It's mazdax.io, and if you have yourself signed up for any of the chains that leverage it, that are connected to it, you are able to post to all of those chains. You will basically store your key on your local client for the various networks that you want to post to, and you'll be able to cross post to multiple platforms, to Steam, Whaleshares, Golos. And in addition, you're going to be able to post to Medium that we added into the circulation, or the options, the group of options, after Ned downvoted Dan Larimer, the creator of this technology, and censored him on Steam, and they moved to Medium. So we wanted to make it so, we allow people and enable people to not leave Steam because of that event, because Ned doesn't represent all of Steam and all of its stakeholders, right? But we wanted them to have the ability to post all of them. So that's where the history of that comes in. That's why we have it done. And really, all you have to do is set up your accounts. We never control anything. You control it. You'll connect up your accounts, and then you'll post directly that way. In the future, there are plans to add other things into it, but obviously, we are looking for coders. I will say that always. If there are people who, especially on the front end, who want to help us with various things, we have other tools that will help Whaleshares, that will synergize with Whaleshares, and Maz Dax is one of them. And we are always looking for people who want to participate and help with that. Because we feel like the more people who are Whalesharians who are on board with this, the better off we are in the long run. And we will have whale tokens for the next network that we can give you guys, that all the whales can come together to give you guys.
Fuzzy, that you've just reminded me of an extremely important issue that I have to ask you. What is the generic term for the members of the Whaleshare community? Is it, as you've just said, Whalesharians?
To me, it's either that or Sharians, because I really think that we really need to focus on the term sharing, because on Steam, it's gotten to this weird thing where it's like, who has the best content? And by the way, the best content really isn't the best content. And that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not saying that I put on, obviously it's a great place for a lot of people. A lot of people like that. But for me, it's like, we can do better, right? So let's focus on the sharing perspective, right? Whenever I'm sharing with somebody, I'm sharing with somebody, and I'm sharing the fact that I'm sharing with the people who surround me, and the people who use their stake in the network to help people the most, I suspect, are going to be the ones who end up getting the most people supporting them and working with them, which will enable us to create big communities of people who cross synergize and basically go out and seek out projects that want to share drop on us. I mean, imagine if every one of these people in here who's making awesome posts about things that they're experts in, imagine all of them eventually are talking about the blockchain that they want to share drop on Whaleshares. And all we have to do is give them a bunch of whale tokens so they can spread the word to our network of people. Right? Like, imagine that. imagine what happens in that state, in that situation, where you, Freedom, might disagree with me on something, and I'm like, I'm not going to give this person any tokens, and you're like, well, then share drop on my token and my token holders, and I'll give you a bunch of my tokens. You know, we have a council of whales, and anybody can get there as long as they want to buy in, as long as they want to make that possible, and we give you guys the opportunity first, not necessarily in a private way. It's public. Anybody can participate in it if they really saw the vision that you guys obviously see. But since they don't, and you do, congratulations, you're in a place where we're talking about things, you know, where we actually have something that exists today and has been working for quite some time. And yep, we can be whale steaks. You can be whale steaks, Chucky.
I think Whalians, PowerPix's idea is quite a good one. Whalians, no?
Yeah, I kind of like Whalians.
Yeah, that works.
It does sound like aliens.
Well, anyway, whatever. I think maybe, Fuzzy, you're going to have to determine this at some stage in a contest. We need to decide.
Yeah, good. Now, I'm down for the contest. I'm down for the contest, but you guys will see me specifically go more and more into the, like, after everything's closer and closer to launch, you guys will see me more and more stepping away from saying, I'm going to make decisions on anything, because we really do want this to be community run, right? And I'll give you guys my input, and sometimes I might stomp around like a baby having a tantrum, but that'll just be my input. Right.
Looking forward to that. But
yeah, right.
No, absolutely. I mean, what is being created here is a community to be led by people in the community. And I hear exactly what you're saying. And as I said to you a few weeks ago when you appeared on the Promote Your Post show, the sense of community that you're trying to build into the foundations of this project is so strong. You know, it's going to be a really great community. I'm sure of it. And that will, you know, organically, I think it will just sort of naturally build, you know, great things. They just follow. You know, if you've got that community there from the beginning, good things follow, from my experience anyway. So it really is amazing. Right, I'm going to sort of move to wrapping up time. Fuzzy, is there anything you want to say lastly?
Yeah, I wish that Walrus would interrupt me more, because I know that he's sitting there quietly, and I'll talk all freaking night, obviously. So Walrus, is there anything that you should close on since I opened everything?
I did want to say that we had talked about whale tokens on the new chain. So tonight, in addition to Whaleshares that we're both going to give people, I'm going to give everybody here 10 of the Walrus shares. This is the official announcement for them, which will be my token on the new chain.
I'm just going to say I'll take a couple of those.
Well, yeah, don't just hit and run. Tell us more.
Oh, they're just like Whaleshares, but they'll be able to be used for upvotes on the new chain by my account.
AKA share. I'm going to keep banging you guys. And hey, if any of you guys are good at this, when you hear somebody talking about upvoting on the new chain, tell them and actually squint, like seriously, like to kind of scare them. And be like, this is not upvoting. This is sharing. And then just drop the mic like I'm about to do.
Upsharing, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, hey, Walrus shares. Well, there's an exclusive for you guys. Looking forward to that token for sure. Well, look, guys, thank you, both of you, for coming on the show. It's been amazing to have you in the same show in one setting. It's been awesome. Really, really great. Exactly. There's that mic drop. Perfect. Beautiful. So thank you for sharing your time with us. It's been amazing, guys. And I think that wraps up the first segment of the show. A little bit over time, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. You know, as we get closer towards the launch of the new live chain, the new chain, I get even more excited. So I've got to control myself. I don't want to get too excited. But guys, thank you very much for coming on. Right. I'm now going to move on to the next segment of the show. Oh, by the way, Walrus, how are you doing your shares, giving them out? What do you want people to do?
I think we should just make a list of everybody that's here, because Fuzzy was going to some people some tokens. I was going to, and so yeah, maybe we should just make a list. Somebody want to make a list for us?
I'd say post the BTS account right here if you guys want it. No yays, no nays, no nothing. Just boom. Yeah, just give your make it easy on us so we can just copy paste that shit.
You're going to see. Yeah, they're flying up right now. There you go. Just to let you know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because this might get lost in the conversation after too. So like,
look, I'll tell you what might be easier, because don't forget, I'm also giving out Beyond Bits to people who come to the show, and I will get people to DM me later. Shall I just get all those BitShare usernames and then give them to you guys after the show?
That'll make life a hell of a lot easier.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Sorry, guys. Sorry for those who just put their BitShares username in the chat. I will need you to do that later on again, but you'll be DMing them to me, but not now. I will ask for that later on in the show. So don't forget, if you did just put your BitShares username up there, that's it's kind of null and void now. I will ask for them again later on in the show and DM them to me. So awesome. Lots of tokens being given out tonight, and why not? It's 1 year anniversary of Whaleshares, and this is the first of the new Blue Report shows, Whaleshares Blue Report shows. So excellent, good stuff. Right, I am now going to move on. We're halfway. Do you know what? I was just about to say we're halfway through the show, but I don't know how long this show is going to be. It's the first time I've ever done it. So I was in complete promote your post mode there. So we might not even be. We're only a fifth of the way through this show. This show's 5 hours long. Okay, so you guys have got to stay here for a long, long time. Yeah, you're going nowhere. But anyway, I am now going to move on. I'm now. Sorry, Fuzzy. What was that?
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, I hope you're up for it, because you've got another 4 hours to go. But anyway, I'm going to move on. We're going to have some music now. It is Savo's segment. Savo is a pivotal member of the SMA community, and he's been doing some amazing stuff. And I know he's bringing on someone to talk. In fact, I think he's bringing on 2 people, but I'll let him tell you all about that. But he's our music man, and here he is. Savo, it's over to you, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Freedom. Yeah, because you know, the Steam community now is super big when it comes to artists, and we've seen Chief Mepso now. You were when we started out with the SMA, we were the first one. We were the first community basically, and now they are everywhere. But you see a lot of high quality artists, and what I want to try to do is to give them a little bit attention, what they deserve, with a unique story or something which caught my mind or my attention, because we do on Wednesdays a curation show which is especially.
Savo, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice, your mic's just a little bit low. Could you turn yourself up a bit?
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
So leader on the record show, and the people, and it's actually just on Freedom Show. So yeah, what was Wednesday? We had Darren Claxton, who told me something, or taught us something I didn't know yet about him. But it's basically about how he saw the path from artist to going to a major label, and then screw a little bit up because there were too many contracts and restrictions and this and that. And
Savo, sorry to interrupt you again. Problems with your mic. I'm not sure what the issue is. I mean, I can hear you okay, but other people are saying they're having problems. So could you just try sorting that out?
Okay, yeah, I'm now having it almost in my mouth, so I eat again.
Yeah, that's better, but just keep it literally a millimeter from your lips.
Okay. So what I want to do is to invite Darren Claxton to come on The Voice, and have a little chat about how he sees his future as an artist, as an independent artist, in comparison to when he was signing to Sony Records.
Good morning.
Okay. And just to quickly ask, sorry, Darren, just to quickly ask, who is actually going to be giving us some music?
Me.
Savo. Yeah,
awesome.
So I've sent Savo a track, my brand new track, so he'll play it.
Fantastic. Over to you, Darren.
Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Darren Claxton, and we've met before, Freedom, haven't we? Been on your show a few times now. So yeah, I was in SMA the other night. We were talking about music and the whole business. And back in the '90s, my band I was in, we were signed to a subsidiary of Sony, and we got a big advance from them. And we toured around England, played just 3-4 gigs a week. We were full-time sort of musicians, and thought we were hitting the big time, And we little did we know that everything they give us, we had to pay back. And we had a manager who was pretty shady, I guess, at the time. We were, really young and naive, and we thought we were rock stars before we were even rock stars. So that was my first sort of experience of record labels, and it completely put me off. And I sort of didn't get involved with anybody like that until sort of 10 years ago, when I got involved with another indie label. They sort of tried to do the same thing again. So I decided, no, I'm going to do it on my own. And, I started Steam in January. And prior to that, I've just been independent, struggling along really. But at the end of the day, whatever I make now is mine, and I haven't got to answer to anybody. And I have my own copyright with my own name, and I am the record label. It's called Ginger Recordings, and that's my record label, and that's me, and that's the way it's going to stay.
So basically what you're saying is you were forced to do a different or a certain way of making music, which is totally not your way.
Well, I wouldn't say, no, not in that respect, Savo. Maybe as slightly. There was some input from that side of things. Tried to make it a little bit too polished and too sort of new wave Britpop, and we weren't like that. We were a really raw sort of band. And it took the edge away from it, and it took the soul out of it, And we were told what to wear and things, and we were given a budget, and we went out to buy some clothes, and it was all very boy bandish, and it was not a nice feeling, actually. No, it was not a nice situation to be in, and it was really nice to get out of that. It lasted about a year and a half, and it was a real eye opener for me and the rest of us, really. And we've not really seen each other since. Actually, it ruined a lot of relationships, in the band and as friends. Very, very strained, so I would really recommend not doing that to anybody whoever offered that.
And yeah, the 90s you had this boy band, phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it was big, huge, yeah. So yeah. Until I got older, now I sit there and think, gosh, what could have happened, really. But like I said, we ended up with nothing in the end. I think we had about a few £1,000 left over between the four of us. It was nothing, from all that hard work and gigging and getting in at 3 a.m. and all that stuff, it wasn't worth it really. And the music just sort of fizzled out. It's quite a sad story really, because we were a really good band,
Yeah, you're a great musician. So the track you presented, shall we listen to it?
Because
that one was really from your heart, where you broke rules which aren't, rules. Rules don't exist.
Yeah. Let me just say, I know it's a bit of a sad story about the whole band thing, but there's a bright side of that. I've realised to not do that anymore. And I do work really hard at this, and I'm on Steam a lot. I'm on SMA, MSP. I'm on lots of the radio shows, and I just really push myself to do it. But it's a real liberating feeling doing that for yourself and not having to answer to anybody. And I really appreciate all your input, guys, and support. It means a lot.
Yeah, you're a great artist. You deserve it. So we'll play Darren Claxton with what was the name of this song?
This song is called Breathe. Breathe.
And when did this one come out, Darren? When did you do this?
I've been asked to enter a competition. It's called On Song International. They're an Australian outfit. They're home to published musicians across the world and things. As an independent artist, they contacted me and said, "Would you like to enter this contest, songwriting contest?" And I sat there sort of Wednesday afternoon because I've been off work this week, and I thought, I'll just write a song for that. I didn't want to send them one of my old songs, so I literally just penned this song in an hour and recorded it. So yeah, this was a really quick turnaround, which is pretty regular for me, actually. It's the way I usually write songs anyway.
So you wrote this song last year?
I wrote this song Wednesday.
Okay.
Which is it's Friday now, isn't it? But Yeah, 2 days ago. In about an hour, hour and a half to record it all and everything. Yeah. So
Well, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, so you did it in a day.
Well, no, it's Friday now because it's 1:05 a.m.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, just a bit, just to split hairs with you, mate. But yeah,
Why not?
But I do. That's the way. That's the rate that I sort of write. You know, when I'm on Savo's show every week with Divine, I usually write a song that week for it. You know, I like to have something fresh for everybody, and yeah, it's nice.
Awesome. Well, let's hear it.
Okay, go for it, Savo. After you.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. So I can see.
Breathe the air I give to you. Just don't give it back. Sing the song I wrote for you. Just don't sing it back. Walk the footsteps that I make. Just don't follow me. Take a ride upon a wing, but just don't look down on me. Breathe the air I give to you. Don't give it back. Sing the song I wrote for you, but just don't sing it back. Walk the footsteps that I make, but just don't follow me. Take a ride upon a wing, but just don't look down on me. Breathe the air I gave to you. But just don't give it back. Sing the song I wrote for you, but just don't sing it back.
There you go.
That was great.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So yeah, where
Thank you,
goes
yes.
the path from here?
It's a really powerful song. You know, it's a song I wrote. I just wrote it actually, and then after I sort of analyze it like I always do my songs, and it's to my children really. It's saying walk the footsteps that I make, but don't follow me. So it's saying don't make mistakes I have, you know, and take a ride upon a wing, but don't look down on me. Which means if they make it really high up, and don't look down on daddy, you know, and yeah, it's powerful stuff.
So, can I ask, Darren, is that your general style? That's what you've always been into. When you had your band, was that always the type of music?
No, we were like an indie rock band. We were along the lines of like Oasis and that kind of sound, and Blur. Yeah, we're all around at that same sort of similar time as them.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, I was the drummer in the band. I'm a drummer really. And he started writing songs sort of 10 years ago, and seriously about 3 or 4 years ago, you know. So I'm a drummer really, and I play the guitar, I play the bass, I play keys, I sing, percussion, lots of instruments. So
like Phil Collins.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then I found I could sing, and I'm overwhelmed by the attention because I just sing along to the guitar, and when I listen back to it, I'm like, that's me doing that. So it's really odd. It's like a third person almost listening to it,
So yeah, I want to thank you that you took the time to come here at night, because it's at night here for you.
Yes, what you guys don't know is that Darren Claxton is sat in his car at the moment, bless him. So because he doesn't want to disturb his family. So thanks for that, Darren. I really appreciate it.
I am. Yeah. I've just got out of the car. I'm in the garden now. So yeah, I am. Well, I've got 2 young kids, and I keep doing this to them, and it's not fair. So, but yeah, I can't miss an opportunity like this. So I really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Darren.
Anybody else want to ask me anything, or before I go? They've gone quiet.
Speechless.
The song just rendered them all speechless. So there you go. Yeah, adios, guys.
I think there is a question actually, Darren. I think Lost asked it before. He wants to know: is it your style? Would you describe it as indie folk?
Yeah. God, this is so difficult. When I'm uploading my songs to different places, what genre are you? I'm like, gotta put it in a pigeonhole again. So modern indie folk. I don't know. It's really hard to say because all my songs are quite different. As Savo will probably tell you, I do such different genres sometimes. So it depends on the day what I've written, really. But yeah, this one's I'd say folk. Yeah, modern folk maybe.
Okay, and there was another question. John wanted to ask, what is MC1R?
Well, you need to tell me. That's secret. You need to you tell me what that is. So if somebody can tell me what that is, I'll what can I do? Send them a free download of my song. There you go. So if somebody can tell me what MC1R is.
Okay. There's another question, Scuzzy. What's your favourite Led Zeppelin song?
Oh gosh, oh man, there's so many. Since I've Been Loving You, I reckon. Yeah, he's noticed my emblem. Yeah, my John Bonham logo on the guitar. That's John Bonham's Scuzzy. Yeah, definitely Since I've Been Loving You. That track's amazing from Led Zeppelin 3.
What are you doing there, man?
Sorry?
What are you doing there? All of these noises.
Oh, I've got a little fan because yeah, it's a bit warm tonight. It's really sticky here. It's really muggy,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's really hot. Yeah.
Okay. Probably see and speak each other next week again. So I wish you a great night and enjoy your weekend already.
Thank you, man. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Freedom.
Cheers, Darren.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
So we can do another one because I would initially have invited Divine, but her internet broke, so she can't come here. But I see DJ Lethal Skills, and he's a great friend of mine from the start already, and he's doing great.
Bring him on. Yeah, you can carry on talking, Savo.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's really working his way up the blockchain, and it's really blockchain focused. He's also a musical ambassador, and yeah, he's doing very great, very great. At the beginning when when we started the SMA channel, we wanted Little Skills to come with us and to form it, because he just has this this image which says how professional he is actually, and really something a lot of people, of course, respect and see value in that. So Little Skills.
DJ is not there. He's where is he? Oh, he is. DJ, are you there?
He's unmuted, so yeah, he just woke up, he said, when I asked him last minute.
Oh dear, he's probably grabbing his morning coffee.
Yeah, try to reload if you because you muted yourself. I saw, or as well as PowerPix. I don't know. Yeah, else we can play your song still. Shall we try to do that first? He sent me a song we can play.
Yeah, let's listen to. Oh, he's trying to. He's got problems with his mic. Yeah, he's just gone out. Hopefully, he might just do a simple refresh. And he might jump straight back in. Here he is. Let's see if we can hear him. DJ, can you hear us? But we can't hear you, dude.
Yeah, then we just play the song, and maybe in the meanwhile we can figure out what's wrong with the mic.
Sure, let's hear the music.
So this is Little Skills, but a track I didn't hear it yet. It's So Jazzy. It's called So Jazzy by DJ Little Skills.
Oh, I was just getting into that.
Oh, apparently it's still a demo.
So there's having a moment.
A demo track, but I really liked it. I see a lot of these things going on with the jazz and a hip-hop feel in it. I'm doing it myself as well lately, and it's really refreshing. Never did that before, and yeah, to hear it from Digital Skills, you know, it's also very awesome. I like the saxophones. Is somebody able to talk, or he's away, right? Oh.
Yeah, DJ was going to do a full refresh. Oh, there he is.
Yes, here I am. Oh my gosh.
Finally, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for the feedback, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This is not a finished track. It's a demo for a track that I'm working on. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. I've been messing a lot with jazz and blues recently, and other kind of music to inspire my music. Salute to Chief and everybody.
So tell us something about what you are doing, because you are working your way on the blockchain very, very well with your music.
Well, yeah, just to briefly summarize it, my name is DJ Lethal Skills. I'm originally from Beirut, Lebanon. I'm currently based in Kuala Lumpur. I've been here for 6 years. I come from a computer engineering background. I used to work with the big multinationals like IBM and whatnot. But 10 years ago, I decided to retire from the corporate world and devote myself to music, which my passion is music. And as every artist, I started independent. Of course, there was a struggle in the beginning of everything, setting up my label, building up my crew, setting up my studio, and also the creative process of building music in parallel to setting up the foundation to start making music, trying to get signed, to to cut a longer story short, it was a very big struggle for me within the music industry to try to stand out or make noise. Until like roughly 11 months ago, I was introduced to Steemit. And it was around the time I was reconsidering my choices in life. Should I go back to the corporate world, or should I try? Because I kind of tried everything what I can do within the music. And it's not about talent in the music industry. It's more about money, and it's a really tricky industry, you know. So then I learned about blockchain and Steemit through a fellow good friend of mine, and I started my journey on Steemit, and I started meeting. I was blessed enough to meet up amazing people who are like-minded, passionate, and they're also looking for other means to promote their music and build their bigger followers and whatnot. In 10 years over the music industry setting, I have 2 albums released. I'm working on my 3rd one this year, and it's fully funded by crypto. In a way, all my work now is funded by crypto. Before, I used to release like a track. I do a track every week. Since I joined the blockchain, I do 1 track a day. I get paid instantly. I know there's an issue with the monetization of 7 days window for artists. Like when I post a song, within 7 days, I get rewarded, but after that, I cannot get paid for my music. So that's why I started looking for other platforms on the blockchain, and then I bumped to MusicCoin. That was last year before it was famous and big. And I was very active there also. And then later, I became an ambassador. So currently, I'm a MusicCoin ambassador. And I tried to use that to help musicians to find alternative platforms to get rid of the middleman and become their own industry and promote their music. And, you know, so I've been able to do a lot. And then I met the Whaleshares. Even here, I have met a lot of, and you guys have been a great support to a lot of my contests and initiatives that I've been running on Steemit and making all this beautiful music that you guys are hearing. So, yeah, I can go on a lot, but in a nutshell, blockchain, Steemit, and have been a life changer for me. I have dropped so many jobs I used to do. I'm not DJing as much as before. Most of my 80% of my time is on the blockchain, and I'm definitely looking forward to the new Whaleshares because that's a fresh new community with fresh minds. I'm really looking forward also for that. We're really excited.
And yeah, you can also well imagine with all the artistry going on with music. What you can do with you know, with the shares. So I experienced it myself, and it is really great, really great. I felt it really, the idea behind it, and yeah, little skills. Where do we see you in 2 years?
I think possibly on a bigger position, supporting the music industry and supporting musicians like myself who are struggling to put their feet on the ground and push their music and earn from the music directly without their hard-earned money being stolen by labels and middlemen. So hopefully the bigger and stronger we become, the more support and the more initiatives and activities and contests and all that stuff. Also, we're working on Block Mountain, which is a Steam-driven album, which is I'm working on it with a great team of mine that we collectively work together on so many initiatives. And this is something key about any community. You need to build your network. You need to have your like-minded people around you and collectively work on common objectives. And this way you can do a lot more and you can accelerate in the growth and achievements and all that stuff. So yeah, Block Mountain is about selecting different artists from across Steemit, and the project is going to be funded by Steam, and mainly we want to release an album cross-genre. It's not like hip-hop only or EDM or house or jazz. It's going to be a mix of the best talents that we can find who are willing and they want to contribute to the project. And already it's being in works, and hopefully within the coming months we're going to have the first music's coming out of this project, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to see it actually. I missed it with the applications. Else I would have sent in a beat as well, but
it's not a one-time project. This is like it's going to be pushing musical projects and funding musicians to make music eventually. That's the vision behind it.
Do you have a post or anything you can put up about this project?
Yes, there's a fresh post actually. Yeah,
go and grab that so people can have a reference point. Could be quite useful to a lot of people. because there are a lot of musicians on the blockchain trying to make their way, so that might be useful for them.
Takes about 1 minute, and my experience.
Not this time.
This is the latest. There's a new update coming up in the next tomorrow or after tomorrow, but this is the latest update that we have so far, and gives a very good brief about it. So if anyone is interested, please do get in touch. You can hit me up on Discord. There are going to be other phases of the project, and we're going to be needing a lot more musicians, and not even musicians, even arts, because all the cover artwork for the album and the singles are going to be designed by Steemit designers, and each contributor is going to be rewarded. We have sponsors for the project, so we get funded throughout the stage of the project through Steam upvote. So everyone involved in the project will be taking a share based on how much he has contributed to the project. Was it from art, designing covers, making animation, making video clips that's going to come up later, or just making the music and having fun? So please do get in touch, and yeah, let me know if anyone's interested.
Thank you. Yeah, so to go on,
can I just ask DJ a question before he goes? Because I haven't seen him for a while, because I know he's an extremely busy guy now. He's doing tons of stuff, but I do want to ask him a quick question about Music.coin, because I was investing in that for a while. I've kind of paused things, but I would like to know how is Music.coin going? How do you see its future?
Okay, I'm not going to speak because I'm one of their global ambassadors. I'm going to tell you just from my personal experience and knowing what's happening with the roadmap and the activities that's taking place. At the moment, there has been so many new alternative platforms opening for musicians on the blockchain, similar to they're following Music.coin in a way. I haven't seen anyone really yet doing anything more than what Music.coin is doing. Music.coin is ahead, so I have a lot of hope in them if they deliver on the roadmap on time. We have a phone app coming up soon, so Music.coin is going to be on the phone. Towards the end of the year, they're implementing something called the pay per play, which means when you go listen to a Music.coin artist, you get paid from the share of the artist. So let's say if you play my song, I get 1 Music.coin, you get 20% of that for each play. So this is going to take over Spotify, because Spotify, you need to pay memberships, you get ads. This is going to eliminate all of that, and you pay the artist directly. We're moving towards making Music.coin buy tickets for flight tickets, become more of also a token for everybody, not just for musicians or people who want to tip and or just invest in it. I still believe it's a very strong coin. Like every other platform, is going through its development phase. It's not perfect yet, but with all its thing, I have made quite a lot of money on Music.coin through my music, and I believe it has a great future. So Huddle, I hope you didn't get rid of music coins. And if you want to buy some music coins, hit me up privately later. I can possibly hook you up.
Okay, okay. Nice. Thanks, DJ.
We can do a swap. You give me Whaleshares, I give you music coins.
We'll talk later, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the half an hour of music. So back to you, Freedom. Thank you.
No. Okay. Before you leave, I want that song. I want one more song from you, and it's the Whale song. Have you got it to hand or no?
I can play it straight away.
Yes, I love this song.
It's a song. I give a little bit explanation. It's called Funky Whale. I wanted to make it, for the launch actually to support it, but it happened to be that it was a little bit earlier that I dropped it online. So I found some funny samples, and I'm going to play it because the samples are in this song. You will hear it.
and whales repeat each other's songs.
Awesome. Fucking love that song. Whoops, I swore, but it's worth it. It's a great tune. Thank you for that, Savo. Did a great job there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, like it myself as well. Yeah.
But thank you also for completing the your segment in the first ever Blue Report show. That was a great segment indeed. So thank you very much for that, Savo. Much appreciated. Looking forward to more because, you know, for me, doing Promote Your Post gives me only a small insight into the SMA community. But doing this now in a different way, in a different format, means I can get to know, I think, more members of your community. And I can get to know their work more, which is really important. So that's great. So thanks again for that, Savo.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting. And as you know, I'm a fan of your show, so now it's cool to be part of it.
Awesome. Well, we are now working together, so that's nice. We are. I don't know, Discord brothers, maybe. Who knows? But awesome. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Right, guys. I am now going to move on to someone. Some of you will know, some of you may not know. Oddly, he is in the same community as Savo, but I approached this guy, Chief Mapster, for entirely different reasons. Nothing to do with music at all. He runs on his own blog, and he does a podcast called the Coffee and Crypto series. Have I got that right? Was it Crypto and Coffee? Damn, I've forgotten. No, Coffee and Crypto. It's Coffee and Crypto series. And when it comes to crypto, he's a very knowledgeable guy, and I think he can help broaden our knowledge about crypto in general, because I don't know too much, if I'm honest. What I'm trying to say is I don't know enough about crypto that I'd really like to. So this guy, Chief Mapster, who is very knowledgeable, very experienced, I think, and maybe he can tell us more about how he got his knowledge. He's going to help us understand more about the whole crypto sphere, which I think is going to be quite valuable to all of us, certainly to me, and I hope you get some value out of it as well. He's a great guy. He knows his stuff, and here he is. It's Coffee and Crypto with Chief Mapster. What cup are we on, Chief Mapster? I suppose I better unmute him. That would be the nice thing to do if I unmuted Chief Mapster so he could speak. Chief Mapster.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Over to you.
We are on the 42nd Coffee and Crypto. But thanks for the introduction. I really appreciate that. And it's what an awesome segment before with Savo and DD Lethal Skills and Darren. I'm a founder of the SMA with Savo, and I got to listen to DD Lethal Skills music a lot. In the first season, he was involved in the Beat Battle League and the Steam Music League Challenge a lot. And he's such a professional and knows a lot about music and a great guy, really honest, awesome, hardworking guy. So appreciate hearing his stuff. And Darren's been making some awesome music every week and listen to his music as well. And Savo's a great guy, great partner. So it's awesome that you guys have that music segment just now. But yeah, I come from an educational backgrounds, finance and economics. So I think crypto is just a natural way to, apply my talents. It's really cool to find Steemit last year. I always wanted to do a podcast, and I really was trying to provide value. And it seems like I can understand the technicals, and I can bridge the gap to people in terms of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. But it's this one I was talking about. This segment is more about Bitshares, because Bitshares, if you don't know, it was created by Dan Larimer. Same guy that created, Steam and also EOS. So he is a really great guy, really a knowledgeable person. But this was his first baby. So and a lot of the Whaleshares, the beginning of the Whaleshares, even right now, they harness the power of Bitshares, because when you do send your Whaleshares and Beyond Bit tokens in, you're doing that through Bitshares. And Fuzzy and Walrus created the tokens on Bitshares. So I thought it'd be really good to tie in some knowledge of Bitshares for the Whaleshares community and also the EasyDex community. So I just wanted to cover a couple of advantages, reasons why Bitshares is a really good platform. The first reason is the technology is great. If you're unaware of the technology, it has 3-second block times, which means that any transaction only takes 3 seconds or less than 3 seconds. So it's a really great way to send money for businesses to use money, especially in this world where everybody's instant. They really need the fast transactions. Bitshares is that one of those platforms. So just like Steam, it's really fast. And for that, that's a great thing. And another thing is going along with that is the low stable fees it has. It has low fees because it's built in a way that the community sets the bar. It's a delegated proof of stake network, which means the community, people who own and hold these BitShares, they actually can vote in proposals. So that's one way to make sure to keep these stable fees low. And if you notice, they're like a few cents per transaction, which is very low compared to the fees with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And for that, it really helps with getting businesses on board and also people using BitShares as a way to transfer money. In the past, a lot of businesses left Bitcoin, such as Microsoft, because the fees were getting too high, and they were not stable. But with BitShares, it kind of solves that problem. You have stable, low fees with really good technology. You could bring BitShares in the front of these other cryptocurrencies, and because it can handle a lot of transactions. If you look at blocktivity.info, which is a site that kind of monitors transactions, right now it's third, has about 680,000 transactions in 24 hours. And that's about less than 1% of its network. It has some record highs up in 1.5 million transactions in 24 hours. And that's all at low percentage of the network, which means that it can handle a lot of transactions in 24 hours. Whereas, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they can only handle so many transactions, hundreds of thousands, and it clogs up the network. So BitShares is really nice for that. So when we have the chance to scale the BitShares, where more businesses, the mainstream, colleges and universities and other people find out about BitShares and the power of it, it can handle all those transactions, which is really great.
Can I just jump in a minute, Chief Maps? Just on
sure.
Just on that note there about colleges sort of getting in on the game. Do you think that will happen? Do you think we will see that kind of mass adoption?
I think so, and I think it would be a great worker proposal for BitShares, and that's something like, if anybody didn't know, if you have an idea for the BitShares community, you can write it up, and the community will vote on it. I was kind of waiting to see a more easy platform, and like EasyDex that uses BitShares, to be able to take it to the mainstream, because I really think these colleges and universities, the kids can learn a lot about life, just wins and losses, but a lot about finance, a lot about trading, and I think it's a great platform for them to use in business schools and also in some general education classes. So I really think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree, and that would be, for colleges and universities to seize on this would be great, I think. And we did have our resident college kid, Roofcore. I haven't seen him around for a long time, but he was a real regular to the show. But I mean, he was at university, and he had found, the power of the blockchain and BitShares so beneficial to his university experience. But yeah, it's great.
I think it's a great way for BitShares to get some traction, because it's getting a lot of transactions right now, and it's not even to the mainstream. And a lot of these colleges, universities, and schools, they kind of push the culture, and a lot of them are getting student loans to invest in crypto. So people are aware of cryptocurrency, but I think they're maybe not aware of BitShares. Especially the next thing I was going to talk about is you can create your own token so fast. Sometimes with Ethereum and other networks, it's really hard to create your own. So if with BitShares, you literally do some research, permissions in the flag, and create your own coin. Just pay the BitShares fee, and you have your own token for your project or for your business right away. And that's how it's called user issue assets and UIAs, and that's what Whaleshares is. And Beyond Bits, they're all UIAs created on BitShares. So you can use this BitShares platform to create your own token, create your own community token, and then it's kind of where a lot of the power comes from, because you can send in your tokens on BitShares and you get a vote on Steam. So it allows you to do some cross synergy with the platforms, but also gives you visibility of cryptocurrency. You can create a cryptocurrency within a day, within a few hours, whereas in other networks, it might take weeks. So that's definitely something that ties into Whaleshares, because it was, born through Bitshares. Fuzzy has been around, is one of the co-founders of Bitshares, so he's been around for a while. And if you ever want to find out more, they do a talk every week on Saturday about Bitshares. So it's a great community, just like this is Whaleshares, and it's a lot of similar people. But it's really it's a community built on the values of decentralization and kind of bringing the real benefits of cryptocurrency, which is empowering people and getting these elites and these centralized authorities out of our lives. Which brings me to my next point. Bitshares is not only a cryptocurrency, it's a decentralized exchange. So, these centralized exchanges like Coinbase, that, they basically set the prices. They set the way you can order, and they can also shut down your site, shut down your account if they want to. Bitshares is the complete opposite of that. It's a decentralized exchange. So what that means, is that there's this, this exchange, this blockchain of Bitshares that anybody can build a platform to. Right now, they have the normal wallet.bitshares.org. You have OpenLedger, and Rudex, and then now you have EasyDex. So anybody can create a platform that accesses Bitshares and to be able to use this awesome technology. The nice thing about being a decentralized exchange is there's not one person in charge, and it also brings more volume to your token. If you notice on Bitshares, a lot of the things you buy and sell you can buy and sell in Bitshares. So this increases visibility and awareness of your token, Bitshares. And the nice thing about, sometimes there might be problems, like, with maybe password recovery or different things. And guess what? You can create your own DEX harnessing the power of Bitshares. So that's what EasyDex did. If you're unfamiliar from EasyDex, EasyDex is created by Walrus as well, and it is really fast. There's none of these nodes logging out, and you can make your trades instantly. And also, when you create an account with EasyDex, if you lose your password, you can recover your password, which is a huge thing in crypto. Is right now, if you lose your password, you're basically screwed. And that's kind of stopping the mainstream from getting onto this, because with all these social media sites and all these websites, you are used to be able to get your password. If you lose it or recover, you can reset it. So Walrus noticed this and put it into EasyDex. So basically, with EasyDex, if you lose your password, you can get your password back. And I know that most people right now, they blame the user. Oh, you shouldn't lose your password. You shouldn't. But we're people. We're humans. Stuff happens, and it's this technology. You can't be mad at us humans, for messing it up. You can just give it another chance, get your password back, and because people really they put a lot of money into it, a lot of time into their savings and this cryptocurrency account. So the last thing you want to do is them to lose their password and leave a cryptocurrency because of that. And another thing is you can get fiat money, dollars, euros in really fast. Bitshares, some other platforms you might not be able to, but with Walrus, the EasyDex, you can. So you can link your bank account, and you can just get fiat money in right away. And that's not, in all decentralized exchanges, it's kind of hard to do. With the Coinbases of the world, you can do that, but it also takes time. With this decentralized exchange, Walrus created the EasyDex, you can do it within 24 hours. So it's a pretty great, it harnesses the power of Bitshares, and you can get your fiat money in and out. So there's, being a decentralized exchange besides a cryptocurrency is an awesome feature for Bitshares. So far I covered, it's a better technology, decentralized exchange. It has low stable fees, and you can create your own assets, easier issue assets. The other thing that's really cool about it is it's community based, which I touched about before. But the Whaleshares community is so strong because of its community, because of the people involved. So it's something that we've learned, that you need to have the community be involved, vote on decisions, and some people might have more voting power just because they're more invested. And that's one way Bitshares gets things done. You can propose something to help the Bitshares network and get paid in Bitshares to do it. So that really helps a lot of people that want to get involved and helping the network, helping people grow. BitShares where each of the main maybe fix some technology things with BitShares to get paid for their efforts. And some people like Walrus, they don't need any worker proposals. They just do it because they're kind souls and they work hard, and they have the knowledge to do it. But something that's nice about BitShares, it's really community based. And the one last thing I want to touch before I answer some questions is that the one big thing in cryptocurrency is Tether. I don't know if you hear about this. Tether basically represents $1 US. But the problem is no one really knows if they have the money to back it. They fired their auditors. They won't let anybody in their banking accounts. They won't let anybody verify how much US dollars and euros they have backing this money. So that's a huge red flag, first of all. But BitShares has basically solved this problem. Another thing that Dan created besides Steam and BitShares and EOS is he created the smart coin. That's a smart coin asset. So it's basically a pegged asset, meaning that you can tie one thing to another. So you can create something like a BitUSD, which represents $1 US. You can create a BitEuro, which equals €1. And you can also do this for gold, silver, and other different assets that you confirm. They're backed 100% by assets. So any BitUSD out there is backed by real US dollars. So that's something that can really help bring stability to the cryptocurrency world, because once people find out about Tether and not being backed, there might be some loss of faith. And that's something that BitShares can come right in, and they already have an asset that's been trading for a while. It's really great. It's integrated with different payment solutions, such as Palm Pay. So they really can accept BitUSD at stores, at businesses, and also just for you instead of US dollars. So if it's BitUSD is useful for those different reasons, and also some people like to get out of trades. If they see the market going down, they'll sell and just put it into BitUSD. And then when the market hits the bottom, they'll use the BitUSD to buy at the bottom and get more from what they paid for originally. So BitUSD is a huge benefit that BitShares has, and I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but it could definitely get some. If you look at Tether, it's like the 15th most used cryptocurrency with almost 1 billion sometimes in volume. So there's a lot of money being put into Tether when something like BitShares already has a BitUSD that's backed by real USD. Exactly. So it's something that's really cool about BitShares. So just want to cover those projects. And then also, if you know about BitShares, it's really fast, like I said. So it's really useful for payments. And for different projects. So one of the new projects coming out is called Palm Pay, where basically you can accept different cryptocurrencies. That's exactly a great meme. You can accept different cryptocurrencies such as BitUSD, BitCNY, BitEuro, and any of the other cryptocurrencies such as Steam and Steam dollars at your shops, at your businesses. So it's just some things. The BitShares community is really innovative and really entrepreneurial, and they're really integrating all these different. They're trying to bring BitShares to the mainstream. So that is one another great thing about BitShares. But let me drink this coffee while I wait for Freedom to use his silky smooth voice.
Well, thank you for that. And do you know what I was going to ask you? I don't know whether for your blog series you're using freeze-dried granules, but for this show I do want bean to cup coffee freshness. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start doing that for you. Since I appreciate your taking the time to have me on here, I'll definitely do that, the fresh roast.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, look, thank you very much for that. I mean, there's tons in there that basically makes me understand the whole BitShares concept a bit more. But there is some things that I just want to pick up on. And I think my first question to you really is, if you were being brutally honest now, how easy or difficult is it really to set up your own token?
With BitShares, it's the easiest. If you literally can do it within an hour. If you already have the BitShares in your account, you can do it within an hour. Maybe even you can literally do it within an hour. If you just set all the permissions and the flags ahead of time, you can be done very, very fast.
And what is the cost of that?
It used to be 450 BTS when I did mine, but I think that Sweeney guy just put 239 Bitshares, so 250-ish Bitshares, which at the moment is not, not too pricey. So that's basically maybe a barrier to entry would be just a little cost.
You see, that's not so bad at all, really, is it? Let's be honest.
No, not at all. Especially if you get $45, and you can get, if you look at Ethereum and some of these other places, it's going to take you development and a lot of different things to do, and money to do it. And so you can give your project visibility through this. And Fuzzy and Walrus noticed this ahead of the game. They were one of the first ones to really create a popular UAE. So I give them props. You definitely know how to harness the power of Bitshares.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome what's taking place at the moment. But so I mean, it's too general for me to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Once you've created your token, for real novices, and I'm taking that basic approach now because a lot of us are in this position. I've got a bit more knowledge now that I've been involved in Whaleshares, but nonetheless, I'm still a novice with these things. But I'm going to ask you, if you were setting out, and I know that Sweeney guy has recently done this, and I guess it's different for each project, for each token, but is there a general sort of basic rules that you need to respect if you want to give your token value?
Yes, it's one thing I love about crypto is it's kind of changing the perception of it. Basically, it's not a stack of money that gives this currency value. It's people that give it value. That that $1 is worth that because someone else will take that and use it for $1. So to apply that to these projects, your main goal is to get as many people using your coin as possible. And the more people that use your cryptocurrency, the higher the value. So it's basically just creating an ecosystem or a community or some kind of use case that has people using your cryptocurrency. So that will give your cryptocurrency value, your token value. That's why, the more people that use Whaleshares, the more people that use Beyond Bits gives a better value. So
right. So mass adoption is far more important than having it backed up by a stack of money. Yeah.
Amen. You hit it perfectly.
Interesting. So that is very interesting, actually, because for me, that clarifies one thing anyway. And the goal really is trying to get people to participate in your token. That's the key. And you know what? I guess, if I was just widening the parameters a bit here, that's how the central financial system and central banking manages to, if I don't want to get too political, but it manages to enslave people into its system, because everyone I know thinks that money, that fiat, is the only thing that we can have in this world that has value. We've all been conditioned to believe that, haven't we? And it's just not the case.
You're absolutely right. And I love, that's why one of the biggest things I love about cryptocurrencies is starting to break people's perceptions of that. You look at Bitcoin, the more people, obviously a lot of people using Bitcoin, look at the value of Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum, look at all these different cryptocurrencies that have value. And even Steam, look at that. It was 10 cents before, and when barely anybody was using it. And what it does, it really people who create projects, communities, to people to use it. The profit loss statements, you don't have to worry about this or that. You really just want to create a good community, a good project that will bring value to people. And that's what your goal is. And that should be a lot of people's goal in the first place. And that's what I do like about crypto is it's kind of limiting the role of the central banking systems in our lives, which they have done for too long. And that it controls a lot of people. But I think cryptocurrency is going to be able to get people out of that mold slowly but surely. So that's another reason why I like using cryptocurrency in colleges when people are learning about the next steps. It'd be really nice for them to learn about cryptocurrency so they're not dependent on this central banking system anymore.
Absolutely. That would be amazing, truly amazing, if we can get more and more people away from their dependency of the central banking systems that exist around the world and all the negative stuff that goes with that. But okay, I'm just going through some of the comments. There was something from Savo about BitUSD and stuff, and it made me think, even with EasyDex, which I think is a fantastic decentralized exchange, and I love it. And there is discussions going on about the moment, and I'm being a bit selfish now, but I'm doing this on behalf of other Brits. Pound sterling, GBP. It's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, that is, and that's kind of, well, I guess one of the things when they left the euro, stopped using the euro. I understand that it gives them more financial.
Just to say, we never adopted the euro. We never went near it.
Oh, so it was just that it was used widely, or used. I remember when I was out there, I used euros. It was interesting.
Yeah, I think shops may take them, but it's not our currency. Our currency is still pound sterling. But as I say, in terms of getting that in, these fiat bridges, it's still a bit tricky with GBP, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it maybe goes back to they basically are the ones that started the central banking system in the first place back in the day. They're the one that controlled everything. So I think that it makes sense that they might be one of the last ones to make it easy to use and easy to get turn your fiat into crypto. They really have a lot of control and maybe a lot of vested interest in other things. But like Waller says, he's working on the GBP, and if he can set a good example of how to do that. But I think as more and more Brits get involved in cryptocurrency, which I'm sure there are lots, it's the banks that you really have to worry about, like you said, because they have so much control and they're so powerful, these British banks, that we can get more and more people on it. Because I know a lot of these cryptocurrencies, these foreign currencies, can be turned into cryptocurrency pretty fast. To do with the power and control, these British banks are pretty strong.
Yeah. It's there's no doubt about that, and it's funny. I was talking to Warren about this the other day about the square mile, the City of London, the amount of power that's vested in that 1 square mile that affects so much around the world. It's something I'm not proud about my country being involved in, but there we go. Okay, awesome. It's great piece that you do, the Coffee and Crypto series, and I'm glad you're doing it, Chief Maps. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. I don't think I've missed any other comments or questions. If I have, or Bushkill says something. You talked about Bitshares password recovery as a benefit, but people should be aware it comes at the cost of security and anonymity. Oftentimes, security, privacy, freedoms are compromised for better convenience. What would you say about that?
I would say that Walrus built it offline, where the data is stored offline. He's really basically aware of that. And he says oftentimes that it's compromised for better convenience. And you definitely don't want to compromise security and your freedoms for convenience. But if the way that he's built it, I'm sure Walrus can maybe elaborate a little bit better, is that he keeps it offline, the data, so that the process is basically unhackable. I'm sure that, if you went to his house or where the servers are, you can probably hack it. But it would have to be that swinging guy would have to be physical. He knows this. That's why he's pretty. Talk to Walrus. He's pretty a guy that's based on freedom and security. Encrypted. Yeah, sorry, encrypted. And then and then he also encrypted. But yeah, that's what it is. The KYC data is stored offline. So that's the KYC data is for when you send your fiat in and out. You don't have to worry about them hacking that data. That's stored offline. But encrypted data, that's one of the best ways to do it. And so that way you can at least have security. If you're a really good hacker, it's going to be, you're going to get what you're going to get. But I think that having the option for password recovery is going to help bring more benefits than negative. Definitely will help the mainstream use more cryptocurrency because they're used to it. If you lose your Facebook password, your social media passwords, guess what? You can reset it, get an email, and you're good to go. So I think that's with cryptocurrency, you need be that bridge so that you can help people just, migrate onto cryptocurrency. And if the only thing stopping them is password protection, password recovery services, well, we just solved that. Walrus did. So I think it's a great tool.
Indeed it is. And I think we're going to just have to leave it there for now. But thank you very much for that cheap, great addition to this show. So thank you for that. Looking forward to more. You've certainly explained a lot more about the whole Bitshares, EasyDex, Whaleshares projects and how they're all sort of interlinking and how they're changing the world and how we're all involved in changing the world. So thank you very much for empowering us with your knowledge, Chief Master.
You're very welcome, brother, and I appreciate you bringing all these kind souls and like-minded souls together. Like I said, teamwork makes the dream work, so if we can all come together to bring value and help each other, I think this world will be a better place.
Oh, well said. Absolutely. And hopefully I'm bringing the right team together in this show. Fingers crossed. But it's going well so far, I think. So again, thank you for that, dude. Brilliant segment. So good stuff. Right, going to move on to the final segment. Before I do, I just want to mention what Cubbalicious, I'm so pleased she's still got the name. Put that name up. What she's just put up in the chat there, because that's the way we are doing BitShares usernames tonight. There's a document, I believe, a Google Doc that's being created. So it just flew up there. Cubby, I don't know if you can just, there it is again. So just make sure your name is on that so we can do the distribution later on. Number of tokens going out to you guys tonight. A few extra ones because it's the first show, and also to celebrate the first birthday of Whaleshares. So make sure your name is on that document, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get to you your tokens. It's not DMing me like normal, so make sure your name is on that document. But
or you can just put your name in the guest book channel, or your BTS ID in the guest book channel.
Okay, you put it in the guest book channel. Don't know where that is. Walrus, if you could put that up or something, a link to that would be good. So it should be guest. Oh, there's a link. So there it is, guest book there. Click that. Add your name there as well. Thank you for that. Right. Okay. But do make sure you put your name on one of those ways, because it's the only way I'm going to be able to get tokens to you later on. Right, so I'm going to now move on to the final segment of this show. I'm trying something new here, so bear with me. I don't know if this is... No, JSF. so I just get a DM from JSF with his BitShares username. No, JSF, please listen to everything I just said. I'm not repeating it. Get your name on that list. Somebody help him out. Right, so I'm going to move on now to the final segment, as I was saying, of this show. I hope this is going to work. I've never tried this before. It's another way of curating stuff, but I'm getting you guys to be the assessors. I'm only going to do a few of these, maybe 3. I'm going to just pick on someone random and see if they've got a post they want to present. If they do, we'll put it up. I'll let them talk as normal, as they would normally do, but I want you guys to at least give it a scan, at least, because I want you then to mark it out of 10. You're basically going to be the kind of markers of this piece of this post, which is a piece of work. So you are the assessors, but I want you to be fair, because don't forget, I think the phrase I used in my post, and I'm going to bring it up just to remind you, is please remember, judge unto others as you would wish to be judged yourself. So remember, play fair, but this is community curation in action. You guys are going to be the judges in this curation segment, and I'm only doing a few, but I'm going to give it a go. This may or may not work. It might even cause a bit of friction, but hey, come on, we're all adults here. So I'm just going to just pick up, in fact, I'm going to pick on Cubby. There she is. Cubby, do you have a post by any chance? Oh, I need to unmute you. No, I don't. You should be unmuted. Cubby, are you there? Do you have a post you'd like to present?
I don't know. This sounds awfully scary.
This is why I'm using you to begin with.
I love how you start that off with judge others as you would judge yourself. I'm like, oh, well, I'm pretty generous with other people, but some people can be quite brutal.
Well, this is it. Some people can be. And if I find that some people are being deliberately...
Are you asking me to be brave? Are you asking me to be brave?
I am asking you to be brave, but if I find some people are being deliberately unkind, then I might not include their mark. And by the way, just to make it fair, because some people may only get a few markers, some people may get more than others, but I will of course make sure it's averaged out, so there's no issue there. All I want from you guys at the end is a number between 1 and 10, but we'll come to that in a moment. So Cubby, are you prepared to be our first
are you ready to walk the plank?
Basically, yeah. Are you?
I am ready. And remember, friend, be nice to me.
What's that? What's that?
That, my friends, is the cutest thing you've ever seen. And
1 out of 10.
That's a definite 10 out of 10. It is the cutest, isn't it? It's a sloth and acid, or, like crayons melted on it, which I think is better.
Scuzzy wants to ask you, Cubby, is he allowed to give you a negative score?
Scuzzy, you stated me, and so there's very few things that you can't do. Negative scores is probably one of those, however.
Oh, damn, I've got to go and grab your post again. Carry on.
Alrighty, once you get past that adorable sloth in the beginning, you will soon see that I am doing a bit of traveling. I have been fundraising for the last couple of months to go to Europe in August, and I am just a little over 200 SBD away from reaching my goal and going. And then my Aussie friends decided to throw a Christmas party, and as a joke, I bid on one of the rooms, and lo and behold, I lost the bid, but the person who won gifted the room to me. So I thought, I did a little bit of math, and I figured I could potentially steam my way to Australia in December. So this is my post that breaks it down, how much I will need, what I've planned so far, what I've looked into, and how you could help me get there with your support and upvote. So you want to see Cubby in Europe and Australia and potentially another meetup? Of course you do. So upvote today.
What
are you doing? That was excellent.
I'm just going through the post. I'm just assessing. Do you know what I was originally going to do with this segment, Cubby? I was actually going to call this the extreme curation segment, whereby it was going to be just brutal, absolutely brutal. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to do it. We're going to stick with what I originally intended. So those giving it a 7, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay, but so you should probably put. We have to put the score and why they put the score. So be specific.
No. It's just. You see, you're taking it to a new level there. But maybe if people want to do that, sure. But all I'm after is a number. And you've kind of got. You've done well there to begin with Savo. He gave you 7. Chucky gave you 3.141.568. So that's an interesting score, but pretty low generally. It's a shame all those numbers didn't come before the decimal point, but never mind. And Snecky's giving you a 9. Do you know what? You're not doing too badly. DJ Lethal Skills giving you a 9.99. I think people are being too generous. Crystal's giving you 1,000. What's going on?
What? Too generous?
Yeah, I don't know, but I will have to assess. You're doing all right. You've got somewhere between 3 and 1,000. That's not too bad. Well, the 3 isn't so good, but anyway. Okay, thank you very much for that, Cubby. Scuzzy's given us this great equation, which I'm not going to begin to work out now, but I'm sure it makes sense. Right, okay. I'm going to pick on somebody else. Cubby, is there anything you want to say lastly?
I can't believe I was selected for this. This was a trap, and I'm glad to know that you guys all secretly love me. That's where all these funky numbers are coming from. Yeah, Chucky, look at him with the 10 now, trying to make up for the nonsense he just put up. Thank you.
I can only accept the first answer, I'm afraid, Cubby, so sorry. But I don't think you've done too badly. Right, okay, I'm going to just move on to someone else. Who else is normally good for this sort of thing? Who else can I pick on? Snecky, no, she's not there. Is she there? Yeah, Snecky, you're there. Snecky, are you there?
Oh my God, yes I am.
Cool. Sorry, Cubby?
I was going to say, it's scary, isn't it?
It is. Actually, it is. I'm can slither away really fast. But,
Right. Snecky, if you've got a post you'd like to promote, please do it. If not, I shall move on.
I do have a post.
Go for it.
So there's my post. And it's called Coffee and Wet Feet. Hello?
Yeah, if you don't talk about your post, you're going to get naught.
Oh, okay. So, it's just one of those days that everything is bad. So you post a fun post about your bad, bad, bad day. I got woken up in the middle of the night by my mom. It was 11 a.m. That's the middle of the night for me. And I made my coffee, not realizing why it was dark, and it was raining, and then everything got flooded and flooded even more. And I just went outside to see what the damage would be, and it was bad. It was really bad. There were no whales swimming in the water. I brought some cookies with me, hoping that I could jump on a whale's back and say, hey, you're mine now. And the firemen, they were not half naked. They were not holding kitties and puppies, and it was just awful. It was an awful day. So I shared a funny post about it, because you always have to stay positive and see the good.
Gosh, it looks like you're under a lot of water there. Was this near where you live, yeah?
Yes, the pictures you see is taken from my house.
Oh no. Yeah, I have to say those firemen aren't your hunky type that you'd appreciate, are they, Snecky?
No, I was really sad about that. If you look online or on the television, they are always like, wow, super hot, half naked. And they were nice, don't get me wrong, I like them because they made my floor dry again. But it was kind of a little bit
disappointing. You need to get onto your local council about that, or whoever recruits them, and just say, look, you're bringing in the wrong people.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I already wrote them an open letter, and I made a few phone calls, and they all they said we will call you back. I don't believe them.
Well, you need to get a placard made up. You need to be on the streets protesting, because you need hunky firemen. Otherwise, it's just not going to work for you.
Absolutely agree with you, and maybe you can all, give me your autograph or something, and support me in this. I need hunky firemen. And
Okay, all right, yes, exactly. Look, you've even shocked Savo. OMG, exactly. Right, guys, give me your scores. What do you reckon for this post? I think it's better than Cubbies, actually.
No.
This sounds awful, doesn't it? Gosh, maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't know.
No.
You're crushing my dream and my life, Freedom. Let me rip cards with you and unfollow and mute and flag everything.
Oh my lord, let's not get into a flagging war, but scores, please. I want more scores. I want you to at least scan the post and give me a score. Stephen Wood says, nice post, making light of misery. Yes, exactly. Well said. Yeah, definitely. I am being nice, Crystal. I'm being as nice as I can with the content that is being presented to me.
Oh, you're awful.
I've got to be careful here, but okay, the scores are flying up good. I will come back to those later, and I will make an assessment. But thank you very much. Right, I'm going to try this one more time, and I'm going to wrap up, I think. Who else can I pick on? Who else can I pick on? Who would like? In fact, does anybody want to put it up in the text? Who wants to have a go at this? Does anybody want to be judged? Does anybody want to be judged brutally? Okay, so there's a few. Let's go with Boy Robert. Boy Robert, what have you got for us?
Remember last time we had our little show? I decided to go on to take some photography pictures. We were kind of pushing my niche into that direction. So I took you guys up, and I went and I did a photo shoot for you guys. So I made a mini series. I went to 3 locations. I brought my daughter, and we took some really cool pictures. So let me just put that post up.
Yeah, go for it. And I will just do one more because there were quite a few who wanted. So I will do one more after Boy Robert. But Boy Robert, tell us about your post.
All right, so here's a post where me and my daughter, we spontaneously went to 3 locations. In this series, this is 1 of 3. I have 2 of 3 I published today. We went to 3 separate locations and took some poses, some ballet poses in some random areas. And this is just something I wanted to share with you guys. I enjoy taking pictures. Photography is one of the things I love doing. And my daughter is very dear to me, and she's she's been taking dance. She's 4. She does ballet, lyrical, and contemporary, and she teaches a lyrical class. She's a student and an up-and-coming instructor.
Oh, so she's deciding to take this to the instructor level. Is that what she wants to do now, yeah?
Yeah, that's what she wants to do, you know. She's 15, right? So everybody at 15 years old, you know, oh, I want to be a tattoo artist, or, you know, all these crazy, wacky things that some kids come up with. But she's into it, and she wants to turn this into a part-time job during the summer. And, hey, why not?
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is difficult because I should be giving this an assessment out of 10 as well. But when you bring in your daughter, you know, it gets a bit difficult. But yeah, we're seeing 10 and 1,000 again from Crystal, 8 and 7. Not bad, 8.8 there. 29. Yeah, you're doing all right, Boy Robert. I guess having your daughter in there means that people aren't going to be too harsh. So you're cheating a bit. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm joking. But yes, exactly. It's a good ploy because we can't be mean to kids, can we, Robert?
Yeah, I guess you can. But stay tuned. Stay tuned for Sunday night's show. I will be posting series 2 of 3.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting stuff. Let me just put the link up one more time. I don't know if anybody hasn't seen that, but if they haven't, maybe check it out. It's a nice piece. And I think, do you know what? She definitely has that. I told you before, Boy Robert, you know, daughter has that elegance about her with these dance moves.
Yeah, the flair.
Yeah, exactly. The elegance, the flair, and she's certainly got something. So good luck to her. Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Some high scores there for that one so far. I think that might be the winner.
Thank you for choosing me.
You're welcome. Right. I will do one more then, and then I'm going to wrap up. Who did I see? I think I saw Sweeney Guy. Sweeney Guy, are you there? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I need to unmute you. Sorry. Nope, you need to unmute yourself. Oh dear, it's looking like a naught. Sweeney Guy, you going to talk to us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm on my phone, so it's a little bit different than normal.
Wow, good phone. You're coming through nice and clear.
All right. So this post is the second in this new Lost in Lyrics series that I started writing. This is just another song that really connects with me on a really deep level, and I break down the lyrics. The song to me just really speaks to my depression. I'm not always this happy-go-lucky, super awesome, happy, you know, rainbows and lollipops Sweeney guy. Some days I'm kind of very much the opposite person, and it's a daily struggle against depression, and this is one of those songs that you know, on my worst of days I can listen to this and kind of find a reason to push through it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you dipped out there or did you finish? Sorry.
Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, this song just really connects to my depression, and I've battled for a long time, 2 decades, with not suicide, but suicidal thoughts. There certainly is a difference there, but it's a thin line. They're at the end of this post. I very much try and connect with anyone who feels like, you know, if you think that there's no point, find somebody to talk to that can show you or tell you something that is going, you know, there is a point. You just don't see it at the moment. You know, every single day is going to bring something new. Not every day is going to be awesome. Tomorrow may not be a better day, but the next day might. And that chance that it is going to be a better day, you know, is all the reason anyone should need to go to sleep and wake up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well, look, thanks, dude, for sharing this, because, you know, we do see the funny, happy-go-lucky side to you a lot of the time. But it's, you know, I'm pleased that you can share this sort of thing with us, and you know, it's impossible, I think, for even the most happiest person to be happy every single minute of every single day. And I hope that, you know, whatever the dark days that you're having at the moment, I hope they do go away soon. And I'm pleased, though, that you find some kind of value in music, some kind of therapy, because I think music is therapy to a lot of us. But it's a great post. Thank you for sharing it. I'm going to put the link up one more time, but I am going to ask people, because this is, you know, the new way of curation. I still am going to ask people to rate that out of 10. All right. So go ahead, guys. I'd like you to please put up your genuine assessment of that post. I think it's a great post, brave post as well. Thanks for that, Sweeney Guy.
Thanks, guys.
Right. And I am, because I have received a very special request, and I'm going to do it because she does a lot of goodness for this community, by the way. And a lot of you don't often see the work that she does. She's a great group, I think we used to call the term greeters. I don't know what she is now, but she's very involved in the Whaleshares community. And I don't think she gets the praise that she deserves enough. So I'm going to just allow one more. And then I promise you that really is it. No lost. It's not Krista. Close, but it's not. It's the inimitable Miss Pacheco. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm kind of nervous.
You should be.
Oh, you're so bad today. Okay, here you go, guys. This is my comment challenge, but instead of hair shares, it's Whaleshares. Pretty much just tell me who is your favorite musician. So, you know, just, you know, let me know and make sure you put your Bitshares name.
And this was from, yes, we spoke about this the other day. This was from the idea that came about in Sunday's Promote Your Post, was it?
Yes, it was. Cute, because I said I want to do something with music, and then QB actually said you should probably do a Steamian one, and that's where the idea originated. And so far, I think I've got like 20 comments already, so I'm really loving the feedback of all the artists I didn't even knew that was on Steam.
Yeah, I'm pleased. I can imagine that you would have got a lot of engagement with this. And it's great that you're trying to find your favourite Steamian musician. Or is it the musician comment challenge you say, yeah?
Yeah, just look, if you maybe have a favorite, just put it in the comments, or somebody you don't feel like's really getting appreciation on Steam, because there's so many out there. I'm always finding new people every day, especially in the Monday shows we have at Whaleshares. I mean, the content, there's just so much great content out there, and this is a way to help those Steamians, you know, get a little shout out too. So show them some love.
Absolutely, well said. Well, I'm glad you decided to adopt that idea. I think it's a great challenge, by the way. I'm really looking forward to the results of this one. Nice post. Definitely better than Cubby's. Don't know if it's. I think it's better than.
Be nice.
Why do you do that?
I'm joking. I'm just messing. Sorry, Cubby. But it certainly is definitely better than Snecky's, that's for sure. But I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. And I'm going to put the link up one more time. I'm seeing all these scores fly up. But you're doing very well. Yeah, you're doing very well there. Okay, guys. Any more scores? Get them up, because I'm going to wrap up now. But 10. You got 100,000 from Lost. My God. That's the biggest score I've seen yet. So well done, Crystal. That's the highest score I've seen. Awesome stuff. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there, and that really does wrap up this show. It's been 2.5 hours, and man, it's been unbelievably great. And I just want to thank you guys for, I don't know what picture that is, Power Picks. I didn't want to look at that, but give me something more happier than that, man. Come on, I'm wrapping up now, but I just want to thank you guys for coming, because it's been a really, tons of you in here. It's fantastic to see all you guys here. Really is, because I didn't know how this was going to go. So it's been one hell of a first show, and I really, really want to thank you guys for coming, because you've made this show. It's like what Fuzzy says, you know, this whole community is built around you guys. Only you can make it happen. And I'm so pleased that lots of you have turned up to the first ever Whaleshares Blue Report show. It's been amazing, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these. I don't know whether I'm going to keep the community curation segment, but we'll see how it goes. I kind of quite enjoyed it in a way, but maybe I enjoyed it for the wrong reasons. But anyway, don't forget as well, in terms of getting your Bitshares usernames to me, all of you that came, make sure you do, because you're getting Beyond Bits, you're getting the new Whaleshares, and I think you're getting something else. I can't remember what it was, but you're getting a few tokens there. So make sure you add. In fact, Cubby, could you put that document again up, or whatever it was, or PowerPix? Would you put that signing the guest book? I think it was a guest book has been set up for you guys to put your Bitshares username in. So if someone can just put that up, that would be, there it is. That would be great. Thank you very much for that, guys. So awesome stuff. And I've got an awful feeling I've probably forgotten something, and I'm so sorry if I have. I will try remembering it for the next show. But thank you again. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. So until the Sunday show, because the next show is the Sunday show that I do, the Promote Your Post show. But I do hope to see lots of you back here for another one of the Whaleshares Blue Report shows next Thursday. So until then, guys, take care.